Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's weekly town hall meeting, September 12th, 2022. Today's agenda is projects and development updates, documentation updates, marketing updates, collaboration updates, and Q&A. Bombson, can you please start us off with projects and development updates?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, as usual, our town hall the development teams starts with the process improvements. We've been working on this vulnerability fixes and GitLab cleanup for a while. This is progressing really well, especially on the security and vulnerability management. We're making huge progress. On the blockchain side, we have been working on adding more test cases to our core blockchain product, and there have been a lot of bug fixes, and we've been also working on fixing our delayed node feature, which is not working quite well. We started looking into the delayed node because we will mostly need this when we start with Peerplays 2. That is why we have started looking into the delayed node at this point in time. Other functionalities being the libbitcoin that's in progress, Ethereum Suns, that's one of the developers is away, so that's a little slow, but it's progressing well. Finally, the research to continue research on substrate platform that's in progress. So we've been making checklist and certain other documents to start working on this. So we are hoping that sometime by late this month we'll start working on the substrate based product. So here is our burn down and burn up charts. So this previous week it was completed on September 11th. As I said, one of the developers was away, so we could have made some more progress, and in the second half of the month we should be making more progress. Dex UI, there are not much updates here because we are trying to do a production release with all the vulnerabilities addressed plus an upgrade to Peerplays JS. So we are waiting on this. We have done some work in the last week, so that's visible in this charts. Next product, this is where we have a lot of activities going on. We have the QA is happening and development is happening in the full fledged. And some of the UI which had disparity between the design and implementation, that's getting corrected as well by the UX engineer. And on the CI/CD side, we are almost ready to complete our various improvements that we're working on. I guess the two items that we're spending is having a staging environment and then automating the deployment to the production when it is ready. And we may also look into one more static code analysis tool called Code Climate. We've been using that in the past, so we may also integrate this to the next product. So this is the development burn up and burn down. So there are around 23 issues being fixed. And the next slide has the design related charts. Trade hands. On the trade hand, we've completed few of the functionality which was progressing from the previous week, which included user overview component and various helper functions to retrieve NFT objects and account objects. So that's been completed, and the user overview components demo is available in a URL. And on the NFT lottery, we have completed bug fixes, and we also had to make some fixes to the Peerplays JS library. So that has been completed, and we have a demo deployment ready. But we don't have the test cases available, so we have started looking into the test case preparation for the NFT lottery. So I think the next step would be completion of testing and doing a demo for the collaborator. And on the Python side, we've been kind of blocked with various serialization errors and issues, which has been fixed. And we have completed some create functionality, which is completed just today. So I think in the next coming weeks, we'll have a lot more progress on the Python side. Okay, that's all from the development team. Thank you.
Thank you, Bombson. Documentation updates, please, Sean.
Hello, thank you. So, new for this week in documentation, we are in the process of flipping our documentation portal URLs from the .tech domain to our .com domain. So the subdomains remain the same of devs.peerplays.tech, becoming devs.peerplays.com, and so on. We will be setting up redirects from the old .tech URL to the .com URL, so the old links should still work. But please bear with us if you run into any errors or broken links, please let me know, and we will handle that as quickly as we can. Also, we have a new README for our Trade Hands Explorer project. And upcoming, we have our delayed node documentation, which is still pending the feature review currently ongoing. And also today, I learned that we will be doing some work for 3Speak, and that will require some functional specifications. So those will be upcoming as well. And thank you very much. That is my update for today.
Thank you, Sean. Michael, marketing updates, please.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. So there's lots of moving pieces right now in the marketing department. I wanted to share the ones that are critical right now. I'm working through the peerplays.com website. This was an activity that came out of the previous Kaizen meeting. We're looking at broken links. We're looking at inconsistencies in language. Every effort is being made to make this as consistent as possible and as fulsome as possible. But as per Sean's sentiment earlier, please bear with us. If you find anything that looks a little off, please forward to both myself and Salah so that we can correct immediately. I'm working on some market intelligence persona development. I know that there's some previous documents within the organization that kind of imply that we have an understanding of who our market is and who our personas are. I think that there's some global and national market intelligence that we can lean on to get a greater understanding of the characteristics of who those people are. Looking through the end of the month to complete that document and share with the group at large. I started working with Mo and Vlad to work on some content updates in terms of making sure that there's a cadence and frequency to that stuff. You will see in the blog article posted on the website by Mo. Thematically, it's in keeping with some of the sector analysis we've carried out in the past in our blog articles with respect to how blockchain and Peerplays products can fit within those sectors and assist. That will increase as we go through the last months of 2022. So you will see a greater frequency and rhythm to original content, which is figuring out the basics of what that should be. Also, with respect to some Kaizen initiatives and action plans, out of our discussions, I'm working with Alka on onboarding documents and a welcome kit. Those of you who are new to the organization most likely have some thoughts on how that can be improved, and we're working towards making that as fulsome as possible. And I'm working with Salah on providing you guys with a little bit more context to the metrics that we provide. We will be solely focusing on website, social media engagement, and the weekly emails that we send to our witnesses and community members. And so we're really trying to provide you some context to where we are this month, this week, this quarter, so that we can track our KPIs for 2023 and gain a better understanding of what we need to be doing. And with that, I will flip to Salah to walk you through this week's presentation on performance metrics.
Thank you, Michael. In terms, as Michael mentioned, so we are refining our marketing performance reports. So we start with the website, some highlight that for improving like per quarter and also per month, as well as the week traffic in terms of visitors, page views, and the time spent on the website. This is a general one, and we are more refining the reports week by week in order to get the best KPIs for the marketing. For the social media, similar way, we're building a report in order to show the growth in terms of followers, and also we will add more reports related to the engagement as well, and we'll be working on this by week. We're seeing relatively good growth in terms of social media in general, and we will be providing more refined reports like starting next week. So this is for social media. In terms of emails as well. So the highlight for the emails that we are sending week to week, that the open rate, we have a good open rate, like plus 20% for all the emails sent. And then we are working to optimizing all the emails components, including the subject lines, the graphics, and the design of the email itself. So this is a general performance reports for this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salah and Michael. Jonathan, collaboration update, please.
Hello. For this week in collaboration updates, we had a very good call with the Gaming Benefits Corporation in regards to the future with Peerplays. Not much more to update in terms of what happened compared to last week, but we're making some excellent progress on that. In regards to the community, there was Avalon Meta Labs. We made progress last week on that. It was up and running. We have now today, the SSO element should be complete. And now we will move on to the next stage, which will be to start moving active team members into there. And then we'll be progressing to opening it up to the rest of the public. So that's an exciting development where Peerplays will now be able to utilize the Scenes community platform and have more integration with Peerplays as they use that. There's going to be lots of other opportunities that come out of that. So I'm pretty excited on that front. Infrastructure, upheaval, Ironweave. So had a very interesting call last week with them. Obviously, being a private company and a unique technology, which they have a patent on, I'm not able to discuss a lot of the details in regards to how this technology works. But what they are interested in is being able to work with us in regards to being able to establish decentralization and organization for their blockchain technology. What they have really, on a high level, which you can gather from their website even, is that they really focused on the problems in relation to blockchain production, and it's the block production. They don't go into accounts and how do you authorize transactions and all these other details. Instead, they focused primarily on the infrastructure of block production. And the technology they ended up with was actually quite novel. I found it interesting. They're able to scale in ways that are capable of being able to produce over 1.2 million blocks per second or something like that, or being able to support 1.2 million transactions, per second. Not that many blocks, but block production is in the range of roughly 40 milliseconds per block. So it's quite interesting. And the approach they take is quite different, I have to say. So the call ended off very well. We're going to be following up with more info from them this week, and we're going to explore how their technology works and where there could be a fit with Peerplays using that technology. Whether or not that turns out or not, we don't know yet. It's simply in the exploratory phase, but it looks interesting. I have to say, it opens up a lot of possibilities, and I like the new approach they take with block production. I think it has a lot of potential. So we'll see what happens with that. There'll be more on that next week. Regulations. Government Blockchain Association Tech Committee discussions on that are still ongoing. This past week, actually, we were invited to speak at their new infrastructure conference that's coming up the end of this month. We may send a representative from Peerplays to do that because there is a number of people who are going to be there that are keen on being able to meet with us in person at least. And so we may send somebody who works with Peerplays to go and attend that and also give a presentation. Still pending though, but that is what we're looking at today. That's what was discussed last week. There'll be more on that next week. Infrastructure, 3Speak, media. So cross-chain interfacing project is going well. Last week we spent quite a bit of time analyzing the needs of this, how we were going to approach it, ways that it was going to be delivered. And yeah, so there was quite a bit of effort made with the management team on the 3Speak infrastructure work. And this week, we're hoping to be able to get that all tidied up, and we'll be able to then look at moving forward with that. So with that, we'll be able to provide more details on how exactly that implementation goes and what it means for Peerplays. So that's also exciting. Esports. So our contact in South Carolina that I've spoken about in the past, and I mentioned last week, we had further discussions in regards to utilizing Peerplays. They expressed an interest in wanting to be able to utilize our platform in relation to Ethereum contracts. This led to us discussing the current Ethereum Suns implementation and how that would fit into payments and event management in esports. So that's interesting. That is still ongoing, and we'll be more on that next week. So on to dedicated team updates. We have one JavaScript developer who has joined the team as of today. His name is Kian. He is out of Vancouver. He is quite excited to join us. He has 5 years of experience. He was one of the lucky candidates that managed to make it through our grueling hiring process to be able to ensure that team members who are contributing to Peerplays have the skills and the team know-how that's needed so that we can be able to progress effectively. So want to give a big shout out to Kian, who has joined our team. Very excited to have you on board. And we already made an announcement in the dev chat and Rocket Chat a couple of days ago, and everybody's already reached out to him and welcomed him. So excited to have you on board, Kian, and looking forward to the awesome code you're going to turn out. So that is all the updates for the collaboration update this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On to Q&A. Questions, comments, thoughts? Leave it open to everybody here. And we did have one question that came in from the community. Jonathan, this question would be for you. In the original vision of Peerplays, described in the early white papers, PPY would generate profits in form of token, Bitcoin, ETH, etc. for its holders. If everything goes according to PBSA's current plan, how much profit can PPY holders expect in 2024? Please describe your assumptions and calculation in detail.
That's a pretty big question to answer just talking about it, but I'll do my best to address it in all its parts. So, previous white paper discussed PPY and generating profits in the form of tokens, BTC, and ETH for its holders. So that was in relation to the decentralized autonomous cooperative, which was the consensus that was which Peerplays was based on. And the cooperative is a concept of being able to work together in order to be able to then share in the profits that we all create from all our efforts. So this, unfortunately, wasn't very elegant in the early stages of Peerplays because we were using a depot system. We created a basic token distribution contract that didn't align all the necessary elements that we needed. So early on, we created the gamified proof of stake, which gave better alignment towards being able to distribute those token earnings. So in the question, if everything goes according to PBSA's current plan, how much profit can PPA holders expect in 2024? Please describe assumptions and calculations. I don't have a specific expectation of profit for 2024. I can give you an outline, though, of how the token earnings that would be able to be created would happen. So let me try to break that down a little. With our current plans, with what's being implemented, there's a term that's popular in the blockchain space, which is called TVL, which stands for total value lock. This is fairly common in the DeFi systems that basically would have some kind of token value that's locked into smart contracts. And by doing that, they're effectively locking in the value of those tokens into the network and thereby transferring that value into the network. This in turn, in some cases, is able to translate into value in the core token of that network, which holds those values. So with what we're doing now, we're taking all of the existing developments of Peerplays that we have to date and basically breaking them out into multiple autonomous organizations, still all running with Peerplays. But those autonomous organizations will now have autonomy to decide how those operations are going to work and how to be able to effectively get market fit so that they do generate value coming into the network. Things like 6Pro, sweeps, which is like the type of lotto, and other functions will be able to generate transactional value, not only from things like ticket sales or being able to create prediction markets, but also from the actual transactions themselves, whether it be just a simple transfer or whether it be just something else, like a proposed transaction of some sorts. What's going to happen in this current plan is that we're focusing primarily on the total token value that's coming into Peerplays in order to appreciate value in the network of Peerplays as a whole, which will translate into further profits for PPY holders. So basically, some of the assumptions and the calculations include more Bitcoin. The more Bitcoin that's going to come into the network, the greater the value PPY will go up. More Ethereum and other tokens, the more PPY is going to go up according to the total token value that's in the network. That's all being handled by the Peerplays decentralized autonomous exchange, which is why we're putting so much focus in the next development right now so that that piece is ready. This all goes together as a whole, pretty much as an advancement from the previous white paper, because the original white paper had a lot of parts to it. This is essentially taking all those parts and having them all work together so that we can more effectively be able to deliver on Peerplay's vision. So that's pretty much all I can say at this stage in regards to the profit plan per se. I think that really where we're focused in is as a cooperative, making sure that it's something that's participatory, because if it's not participatory, then it just doesn't work. That's where Peerplays started, and that's where we're headed. So I think that it'd be a good idea, though, if I spend some time, though, sort of fleshing this out a little bit in writing, so that I could be able to more effectively show how all this comes together. It's a bit difficult to describe simply in a call. So I'll be doing that, I think, over the coming week, and I'll share that with the community, and hopefully that'll help answer that question. So that's all I got on that.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there's no more questions here, that will end today's town hall meeting, September 12th, 2022. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.